Hello, Interstellar Chats. This is Carlene Saelg, your host, with co-host, beautiful
Kristin Anderson,
and handsome
James.
James is here too. You guys, we are talking today about more interstellar or astral travel because we can never get enough. And we find ourselves talking about it and always saying, we should be recording this.
which just happened.
That just happened. We had a whole conversation and we're like, we should be recording this. So we pressed record and here we go. We're going to talk more about astral travel because we also have a feeling if we're talking about it, then so are you. And you're interested, want to know more, and are experiencing possibly what it's like to come out of your body and maybe what you should do. Maybe there's a process to it to come out of your body to protect yourself. So let's talk about the process. And Kristin, why don't you tell us, since you just had this happen last night?
Yeah, I'm going to start because, okay, so I have come out of my body, but never like on purpose with a plan, right? I have gone out and done things and experienced things that when you come back to your body, when I come back to my body, go, what happened? That just happened. And I was here and I was there and I saw this and I did that and this happened. And, all these things happened, but it was never my intention to make it happen. It wasn't a choice to make it happen. It's something that happened to me. So right now I'm kind of working on doing it with intention. So last night I set my alarm for 4 a.m. to wake up. And
why 4 a.m.?
4 a.m. because you're sleepy enough to still be in those in-between realms. Your brain is, the brain waves are at the right length.
So you're out of REM.
Help facilitate.
Yeah.
I think it's
not quite at your deepest sleep time, right?
Not the deepest. You're sort of going beyond that. Gamma is where you want to go.
Gotcha.
To be like out and having another experience. So you're primed at that hour. If you've been sleeping since say 10, you're primed at like 3 a.m. to get out of your body. 3, 4, 5 is kind of pushing it towards daylight where you're really starting to come back and wake up. So between 3 and 4 is a really good time. So I set my alarm with the intention of coming out of my body. And I sat up in my bed and I felt my body drop. Like if I had a coat on and I dropped it to the floor, it just went.
So like your light being sat up out of your physical being.
That's when I realized, when I felt my body fall, but I was already in bed, but I felt it go limp. And I was like, oh, I'm sitting up. And I looked around and I was in my room. I'm just sitting up in bed, but without my body. I knew it was without my body because I just dropped it.
So you had a physical sensation of your body being heavy and dropping to the floor.
Well, or onto the bed. Dropping on the bed. Yep.
Wow.
It was the wildest.
You didn't feel any fearful or?
No. No fear. No fear. I feel like
he has no fear.
I have no fear. I've already dealt with a large portion of that. And and which brings me actually to what you were saying earlier when we were having this conversation, is that you were being pulled out of your body by other beings
at one point,
at one time, because you weren't protecting your body. So I am very hardcore protective of my space, because I have seen these other beings and I have felt their destruction. I've literally seen their bodies, and they're grotesque, and they're what we would call demons.
Yes.
But I realized after dealing with them and pushing them out for so long that they're really they look like demons, what we would call demons, demonic, evil beings.
Dark,
negative, but they are mischievous. They're mischievous, and they are doing what they can because you're allowing it. And this is huge. What you allow is what will continue. If you don't say no, then you haven't said no. So basically, you're not saying no is a yes.
Right?
And they're like, oh, hey, I'm just going to suck off some of this energy because you didn't tell me not to,
Mhm.
but they're not going to be able to cause any damage at all if you say no. You say, no, this is my space, because your word is law on this plane. You are incarnate on earth. You have the power. They don't have the power here. You have the power here. So all you have to do is say no.
So this comes back to us being purposeful. Right? So we have
Yes,
intention
the
to
intent.
come out of our body and
Yeah.
set the intention that before we even go to bed, we protect the space, the
Yes.
bedroom, the bed, the person, our body, right?
Mhm.
We're protecting that. You can call in your spirit guides, your
Mhm.
archangels, your ET family, whatever you want to do, call in your helpers, or just know that you are the most powerful when you're connected to your higher self and source, that you can just do it yourself, right?
Yeah.
But the intention is there that if I leave my body, I am protected and the space is protected. So I don't have to worry about anything, attaching itself or playing with me in a way that I
Right.
don't like
Right.
or that I don't accept, right?
Yeah. So when I sat up and I felt my body go down, and then I just kind of looked around and I was like, oh, okay, well, go to sleep. And I just went back because I didn't have a motivator. Like I didn't have a reason to go anywhere. Where am I going? What am I doing? I didn't have a plan.
Ah, darn
Right?
it.
So, but that brings me to my next thing, like a projection plan. Like you should or can create a plan that starts with protection and like, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And why? I feel like having a motivation is so crucial. And a motivator that would give you the power of the universe behind you would be some sort of helping of others, right? What could you do in the astral plane to serve
And
someone?
that's a really great point, because I was just saying this when we were not recording, that whenever James and I would try to astral travel to come and meet each other, because I'm in Florida and he's in Texas, and we would just be like, hey, let's astral travel and go meet each other in the ethers tonight. And we would be like, yeah, let's do it. And we get all excited. We set our intention. We do the thing, and then it wouldn't happen. And I'd wake up and I'd be like, James, I didn't come and see you. And he's like, yeah, I didn't feel it. I didn't go anywhere.
Right.
So maybe it's because we were just playing around.
Right.
We didn't have the intention to serve
Right.
or be of higher service to planet, to humanity, to ourselves. We just wanted to play around and let's go fly around the earth,
Yeah, it's not a good enough motivator.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
I mean, it's
So
fun.
that's something to keep in mind.
It does sound like fun.
It does.
I mean, we
And I
can
would have
all-
loved it and it would have been
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. But there's something about that motivation needing
Yeah.
to be there in order to do it on purpose. So the times that happened to me that wasn't on purpose, there was a reason.
Mhm.
I was either called in to have a conversation or, protecting my body, or something was happening
Mhm.
that was beyond my awareness.
Going to meet your child.
Going to meet my child.
All the things, right?
But just sitting up last night was like, oh, well, what am I going to do? I have no reason.
So you just
So I just
went back
laid back
into
down.
laid back down.
Like, sleep sounds like a good reason right now. Yeah, and I
So
didn't go.
what's your process, Kristin?
I don't even know. But I do know this. The times that I've left, I get to this point, it's sort of like if you're sitting in meditation for a really long time, you get to a point where you can't feel your body anymore. And you just focus more on your awareness and the awareness of just being the awareness.
So when you say you don't feel your body anymore, when I'm in deep, deep meditation, I feel this sensation that's almost vibratory, where I'm joining with my higher self or source, and I no longer feel this physical body because
Yeah.
I'm so much bigger than that.
Yeah.
So does that give
Yeah.
a little bit better description than?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like when you don't feel your body anymore, you've expanded. Yeah. You've expanded beyond it.
Beyond it.
And
Yeah.
the sense that you're getting when you're sitting there and you're expanding your awareness into the present moment.
Mhm.
For me, it's really about listening. You can just listen, and the sound of silence will take you there, right? If you're in a quiet room and you just listen to that kind of like a hum,
Yeah.
and you just expand the hum awareness, and eventually you're not going to feel your body. That's when I know, like when I can't feel my body, I know I'm almost there. And then coming from that place, you can jump out really quickly. So yeah.
So that's the sensation.
Yeah.
So if you want to come out of your body, aim for not feeling your body, expanding beyond the body, connecting, and rising above that vibration of your physical being.
Yeah.
So that just kind of gives you some touch points to consider or to reach when you have first set your intention, second, protected your space in your body, and then third, try to get to that feeling of disconnecting or rising above or expanding beyond your body so that you are able to much more easily come out of that 3D being, because the body is dense, your light being is not, and there is a process of coming out, which this is really excellent for us to give this tangible explanation for people who are craving that experience.
You want to do it, yeah, because everyone has the power to do it. So another thing I want to say is, even before the protection happens, you want to get your body, your actual physical body, into a place that's really comfortable.
Yes.
Really comfortable. For me, I lay flat on my back and I put my hands, I'm going to stand up so you can see. I put my hands right here, that's like on my hip, and I just lay them, and I'm laying almost like a mummy, like this. Legs, and I do cross my ankles for whatever reason. That's how I started doing it. I cross my ankles and I put my hands here, and my elbows will, lay down. And head, I put a roll behind my neck so that my throat is open, so I don't have the chance to do this and like stop breathing. Because then I'll have to move my body. And as soon as you have to move your body, you're back in your body. So you don't want anything that's going to.
And this is actually a very good point, because when you move your body, you're back into your body. When I was experiencing 20 years ago, when I was experiencing a very not so great place where darker entities were pulling me out of my body, which was beyond my control at that point, because it was a group of people or group of dark beings. It was everything that I could do to turn my head, shake my head, move my body to get me back in my body. And at that moment, it actually was the voice of someone else in the room, who we were sharing a hotel room, that she actually popped up out of her body and said, "Carlene, where are you going?" Her light being saw me being taken out of the room, and her voice triggered me to get back into my body, because I was released. Like something happened where she shocked them and they released me, and I was able to get back in my body.
Yep. And you were still attached, so you heard that too.
Yes.
And it pulled you back in.
So not to scare anybody, but
protection
again. That was that moment where I was unprotected in a very awful place on this planet. But beyond that, what we're saying is, if at any time you want to get back into your body, just consciously remember, all you have to do is move and get yourself back to with your intention, get back to your physical body. So move your body, shake your head, move your body, move your shoulders, your arms, get back inside, And sometimes this is practice, right? If you come out of your body, you probably don't want to be gone for the whole night. You might just want to be gone and do one thing and come back, right? Just practice coming in and out,
right?
So you have a little more control.
Yeah.
What is your process for protecting yourself beforehand?
Intention and attention. It's always, I actually, cast a circle.
Yeah.
Circle casting.
I cast circles as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, I remember when I very first cast a circle, I was like, oh my God, am I crazy right now? What am I doing? Like, I must look like a Looney Tune, except there was no one in the room but me. And I'm like, no, you're going to do this.
And you know what? I bet you did it intuitively.
I did it intuitively.
As well.
Yeah. I did it intuitively, and I said, no one can come past this barrier. This is my protected space. The only beings that are allowed in here are the highest vibrational soul family that is here to support my soul's journey. That's it. Everybody
Exactly.
else, get the out. And I'm
That's
I'm
right.
a little bit nasty when I talk to them.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah, I'm
right?
just like, no, we're not
Command.
allowed here. Commanding is the
Yeah,
word.
you're commanding.
I'm loud and I'm commanding, and I'm like, this is my space. You need to leave.
So
You
when
can
I
go- I like to say this. I like to say, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Move it along.
last call for alcohol.
Last call, baby. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. There are plenty of other beings who have their allowance wide open. Go play over there.
Right.
You can't stay here. Go do your business elsewhere. Thank you very much.
So another
Goodbye.
thing that I do when I intuitively started casting protective circles, or, you know, bubbles of protection, whatever you want to call them.
Bubble, they are bubbles.
They are bubbles.
It's not just,
because
it's
I
not a
would-
2D circle.
Exactly, and that's what I'm getting at, is I would draw the circle of protection, but then I would also come up and around. So I would be doing it in all the directions, all the dimensions, so that I cast a field of
A
protection
sphere.
and not just a circle. Yeah, a sphere.
Correct. Yeah.
What about you, James? Do you cast a circle?
No, I've never actually heard of that. Actually,
Oh,
that's why I wanted some explanation.
witches.
I was just gonna welcome to witch school. You are a warlock.
Maybe warlocks did not do circles.
Maybe they don't.
No, I had not heard that, and that's why I was curious about that.
So what do you do for protection, or do you?
My personal is yes, I do, but
It's a
my
statement, right?
prayers,
Your prayers,
my
yeah.
prayers, yes, Palo Santo, say,
Calling your protectors.
yeah, I just have a very remarkable team, I feel like, that works with me. And but I feel pretty protected with, but you have to call on them.
Yes.
They can't do anything unless you give them permission.
Yes.
Yep. And here's another thing too that I want to mention, because we do it and we may have not made this very clear, but if you cast a protection sphere around yourself, have the intention to still allow your positive team, your galactic family, your protectors, your people who come in, your spirit team, to come in, assist and help and hold space, and to allow you to do what it is that you want to do. Otherwise, all you've done is create a protective space, and guess what? You're staying in there all by yourself. Nothing's happening.
Yes. And I've experienced that too.
Yes, you
I've
won't
been
go
like,
anywhere.
where is everybody to go? What happened?
Right?
You have to invite them back in. So you
Yes.
invite who you want and you cast out who you don't want.
Yes, very important. Otherwise, you're just in there, super protected, but not experiencing much.
Yeah. I mean, it's that whole ask and you shall receive. You have to ask.
Yes.
You have to say it. Your voice is your
Powerful. Very,
wand.
very powerful.
Your
Yeah.
will is your word is your wand. That's it.
There you go. Your word is your wand.
Word is your wand.
I like that.
Yes.
I do
It's not
too.
mine. Florence Scovel Sheen, she wrote a book. It's called Your Word is Your Wand. Yeah. It's great. It's brilliant.
I'm writing it down. Are you writing it down?
Write it down, people. Your word is your wand. Yeah.
That's a good one.
It really talks about your language, and all the words that you say have power.
Yeah.
And so using your language appropriately and with intention and attention, that you really create your reality with that. So you can use that for protection, and prayers are that. Calling in your soul team, calling in your protectors. Yeah. Calling the corners, right? The great corners, the archangels. Yeah.
Awesome. So what do you guys think? Are you doing this? Are you casting circles for yourself, or
Who's leaving your body?
who's leaving your body? Give us some input. Let us know. We want to have you included in the conversation. We want to answer your questions. We want to have you on as guests on Interstellar Chats. So with that, we want to say thank you for joining us for this episode of Interstellar Chats, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye, guys.